AKA Patters. Here we go. One of my favorites, Brad Pitt. I just feel like Brad Pitt's entire career. I've been there. Like, seen just about. I mean, it's really hard for me to think of a Brad Pitt movie or performance I haven't seen. And you gotta give him a lot of credit because it's 2017. The streaming boom, not quite there, but he hits Netflix with a his own project, Plan B. That's his studio, like That's his production company, not studio, production company, and he drops it on Netflix. And this is really the crossroads, the nexus, the zero ground, point zero, zero barrier for what is to come and rapidly change film and change entertainment, solidifying through COVID-19 or COVID-16, whatever the heck that virus is. Well, you guys know my point. So, this movie. Wait, you know what? Let's just get through that intro. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. AKA Pad here, Peter A. DeLuca. And if you're new here, if you're new to this podcast, yeah, I'm your obsessive movie freak, aka the pop culture pope, aka the world sketchbook champion, aka comic book creator, content manager, obsessive dude. Okay, I'm into movies and I'm into long form discussion, and that's what this podcast does because I really feel like if I saw this movie when it came out, I may probably would have had a different opinion. Way more adulation because this movie hits on all the technical beats. Now, the one look, this movie takes a position against the military, but if we move that aside, and that's a position in movies I hate. I really don't like it. I'm trying to get some of my thoughts here. The most technical misstep, the biggest misstep, technically, here we go, that this movie achieves, it's a too much of a lean onto narration. Now, the Coen brothers really perfected this when it comes to Raising Arizona. And a lot of times when we do these, I call them article movies. They're just movies that read like an article. These movies, like The Big Short, okay? Moneyball, another Brad Pitt movie. And these movies have levels of elevation. But even if at their most competent level, they're entertaining as hell. They're very engaging. And this movie is that. Brad Pitt completely sinks himself into this role. And who does he play? Well, he plays a real life general. Okay, General Glenn McCone. Real life dude. And we can kind of say, look, anyone in the military that gets publicly dragged through the mud, I mean, we kind of have to take the baseline, unless it's just very horrific, something horrific. They're getting the short end of the stick. They're getting a raw deal because to dedicate your life to military service and to serve, period. It's people. It's not an easy thing. It's really not. You think you could do it? I'll tell you right now, you can't do it. I'm pretty confident of that. You can't do it. So, to become a career military general, in effect, you're becoming a career politician. because you're ranked so high, the politics now interrupt the mission of the military. And what is like the mission of the military at this time? Well, if we go by like the posters, the tagline for this movie, the byline, the cell line is we're going to liberate the shit out of you. I'll say this right now. When it comes to Afghanistan, way more people were happy to hear that than people that weren't. Okay? I would say even the people who are forced to fight for the Taliban want to hear that. And then this movie furthers very lazy ideas like the this insurgents thing cannot be defeated, and the British and the French lost to insurgency. People want to say, I mean, ever since that Mel Gibson movie came out, where he's a insurgent rebel commander. What's that one? The one with Heath Ledger, the Patriot, right? Directed by our Independence Day guy. Holy crap! I'm not remembering any names today. Who directed Independence Day? Oh my god. Okay, moving on. But so Hollywood likes to pump up this idea, and the British Empire shrank. I mean, like, we're just addressing quick things that this movie throws at you. The British Empire shrank because of great wars that they lost. Same with the French. The Revolutionary War was a freaking war. Okay? The stateside colonies were at an advantage because of all their resources were stateside. The British were 6 to 8 months away. So I don't know, but the performance of Brad Pitt, Oscar worthy, Oscar nomination worthy. The way that they're portrayed, and I call this stuff positioning. Okay, it's lazy, it's biased. Not saying a war movie cannot be biased, but the idea that American forces didn't enrich the Middle East, you're not really looking. You're just, like we're going off of Vox, like Huffington Post article headlines. The idea that you'd think a presence period would immediately boost everything around like a U.S. base, like a U.S. presence. I mean, these countries are destroyed and war torn and suppressed because of bad governments. It's not even so much the Taliban, okay, and like these terrorist groups that are within these countries. Like it's the government. The government has failed to protect its own people. Okay? Like that's the major role of government. So the US, stretches its arms sometimes and does help foreign leaders, foreign countries, foreign regimes. It helps them in the handshake. And we saw this with Egypt, with the fall of Marmaduke, okay? Where, like, Christians were allowed, and then Arab Spring pops up with no, mission statement, declaration, or constitution. And they immediately start executing Christians, okay, wholesale. We're seeing this in China with Muslims. But when America goes into a foreign land, it's a handshake deal to roll in American exceptionalism, American values. So those values are very simple: freedom and liberty, the right to pursue happiness, okay? So this movie just wants to take this position that these people were um, like idiots and morons and had no idea what they were doing. And everything that they attempted, they were buffoons. Now, this makes for good comedy, but you kind of gotta balance it out. So, movies like this are entertaining up front because I want to watch them and give them some rope. Like, give them a little bit of rope, give them a little bit of slack, and see if I'm proven wrong. And when I'm not, I really just get disinterested, and I view it as a war on my mind. I view it as a combative experience because I know what the intent of the movie is, and long form film discussion, right? We talk about this a lot. Intent is lost when it comes to film discussion. Intent's gone, people. So when I see the intent of a movie, I have to zone out. And it sucks because this movie's stacked. So many good people, really good performances, well shot. Some of the base scenes, it's like 5 different layers of activity when they're coming off of a helicopter, and really nice filmmaking. Nice looking $55 million movie. Netflix being really smart with this type of entry when they enter into the streaming game. It's nothing but smart decisions. But the movie's got to be balanced. As a storyteller, your story is better when it's balanced. It's better when it takes a position, but really kind of nudges you towards the end. Yeah, and I'll always reference the Recount, that HBO movie, because it gives you one side. It gives you this side that we were cheated. We have to recount Florida. This is the Al Gore run. Al Gore Bush. But the title cards at the end there say, with all these recounts, Bush was never behind. Okay, now here's the thing. That's cute. That's very cute. This is like the creator of the AK-47, the inventor of the AK-47, leaving an apology note for creating a weapon of mass death on his deathbed. It's like, too late, Charlie. Thank you, but no thank you. Okay? That's what that type of title card does. Okay? That little screen card. Put that in the movie. Make that part of your narrative. Your movie would be better, period. War Machine would be a million times better if it really portrayed the enrichment of some of these regions. That the people were actually making more money. We're actually growing better crops. We're actually rolling in a level of self-reliance. Okay? That not every soldier that the U.S. trained overseas was lazy. Okay? Some of these people were are and still are very into protecting what's theirs. That's a human condition. So it's really hard for me to recommend War Machine, but Brad Pitt is literally, as soon as you see him on screen, he is in character. The walk of this guy is amazing. The jog is there. He's really in this role. I love it. I'm a big Brad Pitt guy. Brad Pitt winning this for this movie over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's a joke. He's 100 times better in this movie. So it's hard for me to recommend it, but here's the thing, okay? We have another Plan B movie coming up next, for episode 376. David McCoy is a legit director, okay? He made this movie I hear so much about called The Rover with Robert Pattinson. Again, I'm such a Robert Pattinson fanboy nowadays, okay? because and Animal Kingdom. I watched Animal Kingdom. It's a right. It was a movie, but then it became like a TV show somewhere on streaming that was like for free, and I just remember like really enjoying that. Okay, that was 2010. He makes a second Netflix movie, and the reason why we're pairing these two together, even though like we're on a little bit of a drama run here, is this is one of the only times I get to do back to back Netflix movies with the same director, with the same production company. 2019, he made this movie called The King that I just watched. I'm very enthusiastic for this movie. And it is interesting to compare the two because one wants to show you what history was like, what it was like for like King Henry to ascend. And then the second wants to like basically preach to you and tell you where you're wrong. Different intent, different result, two different quality movies. So, episode 376, get ready. We're talking The King, our second movie by the great David McCoy, who I'm looking forward to wherever he has coming next because he's a great director. I really believe that. AKAPAD's Audio Audacity. Thanks for hanging out.